Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Medium's Table. I'm your host, Michelle Gardner. This podcast is your personal invitation to join me at the intersection of the everyday and the extraordinary. Together, we'll explore the magic of mediumship, share spiritual stories, and connect with fellow mediums on this incredible journey. So grab a seat, pour yourself a cuppa, and come join us at the Medium's Table, where spirits gather and stories unfold. Disclaimer, just a heads up to all our lovely followers. Our social media is a space where we share personal stories, including those of various mediums. Let's keep the vibe positive and respect each other's beliefs. Every journey is unique, and here we celebrate the diversity of experiences. I'd like to welcome back to the show for her monthly segment of Messages the World Needs Now, my weird and wonderful friend, Julie. Sorry, I had to
fit that in there. I don't know if you're sorry.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry. But, you know.
That's okay.
It's the truth.
I'm good with it.
I have to be transparent.
It's okay. I own
totally
it.
Transparent. Yeah, I know. And that's a compliment. That's actually a big compliment because, you know, you bring us the weirdest, most wonderful things that I've never heard of. How, who, what the hell dimension did that happen on? Were you awake? Were you asleep? Were you even still on Earth when this happened? And it just goes on and on and on. A what? A raccoon did what in your bedroom? Anyway.
Yes. And I still don't even know.
And just magically appeared. Okay. But again, you know, the weird and wonderful, and, you know, anything that I hear or see that's weird and wonderful, I always think of you and I have to share it with you because it's so aligned with who you are. And I know that this is a natural ability that you have.
You know, it is. It's like a magnet.
But it's so much fun and it always creates adventure.
It is fun. And I feel like, well, I've said this before, that I need some magic in every day. Like I need to feel magical, you know? And when I get to do a reading for someone, that makes me feel magical.
Yeah.
You know, so when these things happen, it does feel like an adventure, although there are definitely some, I mean, telling these stories is a whole different level of something. Like, you know, some of them I'd never told before. So,
and some people call it weird. We call it normal. Oh, really? You know, we go into it like, wow. And then what happens? Like it's an everyday thing, which I love. I love that.
And you know, what's really funny is I often get clients who are going to be like, you're not going to believe this. And I'm like, try me. And really, they are looking for confirmation of whatever. Like, I saw an angel. I think I saw an alien. I might have been visited. You know what I mean? And I either had some kind of similar experience, or I've had other clients who've shared those things with me, or they've come through in readings, which, you know, to help everyone to feel a little bit normal, you know, because they create a lot of anxiety, you know. And people say, I don't have a place to talk to this. I don't have anyone to talk to about this.
Yeah, which is really sad, isn't it? When that happens, and I'm really glad to hear you say that because it's like normalizing what was once called weird or phenomena that you cannot talk about, or people will think you're crazy, and now it's become normal.
Yes. Well, and it's really clear to me when, you know, I grew up in a haunted house, which we never talked about, but we had people who refused to enter our house. Like that's how, right? But we weren't going to talk about it. So therefore my mom, not that my mom knew how to cope with it, but we couldn't even have a conversation about, well, could you try this or, you know, whatever. But my daughter walks by, you know, and I'm up here trancing and she'll say something, you know, I'll go down into the kitchen. She'll be like, so I heard you talking with somebody else's voice again. Like, where do you hear that? Like, where, like, you know.
That is something you do not hear every other day in a regular household.
Yeah. Yes. And she just kind of takes it in stride.
Yeah.
So.
Well, without calling a priest anyway, but. And this is
There
something
might
that,
be some holy water in every room.
well, this is it. A little bit of sizzling and crackling at the end of it, but hey ho, right? And you're brought back to your regular self, but
That's right.
But these are the things that keep it interesting. And these are also the things that, we practice regularly together. And when some people might think, why would you practice these possessions? Because they're fun. But it's on a higher level and a higher vibration, and they're very angelic, elemental, galactic, all sorts of weird and wonderful things that can be seen and heard. But there's also really valuable communications in that.
It is. And what's going to happen next? It's like the most amazing movie, novel. I don't watch TV because I've got this.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. This is the like reality TV right here, 101.
It's like a fresh flavor of crazy every day.
Yeah, exactly. And you cannot predict. It's always the unknown. And that's, I think, sometimes the excitement within it, or what keeps you coming back for more. You know what I mean? It's like an addiction.
Mm-hmm. And the awareness for me, especially like when you speak of it, right? Because there'll be times where I'm practicing with the same people and the messages are similar or the voice is similar and that kind of thing. And then I'll have a new group and it shifts and it changes. And it reminds me, we are unlimited. There are no limits except what we have been taught or socialized to, or we believe. So push the boundaries. I mean,
absolutely.
And if we can be comfortable and safe with what we're doing and other people benefit from it and are inspired, what a gift to be able to do.
Absolutely.
And if it's not something that you would ever want to try, but it makes you feel a little bit like, whatever kind of quirk you have is perfectly normal.
Yeah.
And embellish it, explore it.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, if it's not something that you want to try, then take the time just to observe. Observe and feel into it, because that's all part of the experience as well. And you don't have to be somewhere in person. It can be on the screen. Energy is energy. It doesn't need a physical space to be in to then have someone else come in and feel that. It's universal. It's omnipresent.
And it doesn't have space or time. So if there's a healing spoken today and someone receives it 6 months from now, they stumble across it, it's the right thing. That's what's supposed to happen. That's
absolutely. Yeah.
The healing's there.
And does that not happen already? I mean, we it's almost daily. There's message, we'll be talking about something, then randomly something will come up that we've listened to, or a different conversation that person hasn't been privy to what we've been talking about. And it's almost like the universe brings you the signs.
Right.
And you're like, you're not going to believe this. Yeah. And that person wasn't even there. Or, you'll randomly listen to an interview with someone, just, scroll, I'm going to just do something here and have it playing in the background. And and it was 4 years ago that interview was recorded, yet they'll talk about exactly what you were just speaking about, or we were having a conversation about, and you think, what are the chances?
Right. And in that moment, it answers the question that you had.
Yes.
And gives you 10 more.
That's true. There is that. But the message in that old interview or that old record hits home because you happen to stumble across it now when it mattered.
Absolutely.
And that's the difference. They never get old. They're timeless. And I love that. I love it. Oh, so today, Julie's going to do exactly that and go into a trance state. She's going to bring through, who knows, we'll soon find out, I guess. And we never ask questions about names. I'm totally not hung up on that. Names don't mean anything to me. It's a very human thing. And I'm just there to enjoy, receive, as the viewers and listeners are, to receive the messages and communications that they bring forth, because that's what's important. If we get caught up on names, we're missing the whole point of this. And it's a very human thing, isn't it?
It is. And the answer that I've gotten to that is, if we want to revisit the messenger, to recall the feeling in that moment, to bring them back, right? So
Yes.
if you receive a message and it feels good, and then you go about your day and you really need to revisit that experience, call it back, and maybe you can communicate or receive the message for yourself, right?
Yeah.
From the same source. But giving names, it limits the energy, it limits the being. Now you become just whatever that name is, and you know, it has a purpose, of course,
Yeah.
but for the purpose of the greater consciousness, they're good not being named.
Yeah. And again, as we know, it's like you say, it's a collective consciousness. It's a oneness. So how do you give that a name? And it's almost like a
Mhm.
thread of that collective consciousness comes through to give the message. How do you give, say, an entire globe full of clouds a name and say, oh no, but they're
Right.
individual? There's that one over there that I can see and that one over there, but they're all clouds. So
Right.
it's a collective consciousness. And, you know, if you want to call it a name, you can give it a name yourself. Fred, Bob, Barry, whatever, if that's what makes you feel better. But hey ho, right? You know, it doesn't make any difference. The message is the message, and that's what matters.
And the feeling of the message is what we'll call them to you.
Yes. Yes,
You'll
exactly.
recall
Yeah.
the peace you received, or the connection.
Yeah.
I think that's how you get to the oneness, right?
Yes, exactly. It hits differently. It changes moods. It changes attitudes, how you feel, all of it.
Mhm.
It's almost like holistic for some people.
Yeah, agreed.
Mm,
And it kind of makes sense. Like, you referred to it as a thread, and that may appeal to, 10 out of 100 people. But that thread draws them into the oneness, and the other 90 find a different thread, but ultimately it knits them all together.
100%. And if that
Mhm.
didn't just like mess your head up right there and then for the regular person, I don't know what will. And these are the normal conversations we have. And right now, regular people are going, do you know what they're talking about? I have no idea.
Like, yeah, yep. And that's why we live so far apart from each other.
Be dangerous if we were close.
That might, yeah.
Chaos would be everywhere. We'd understand it, but no one else would.
You're like, I
Oh,
don't know
and
what's happening over there.
exactly. But on that note, Julie, let's get into the message. Let's not baffle the listeners and viewers anymore with our creativity and madness. But, that's part of the fun. That's part of the adventure. And again, laughing raises the vibration. And that's what we're all about here, the fun and joy and the high
Mhm.
frequency and the good energy. So I'm going to let Julie take some time to go into an altered state, and I will cut this bit out because there's not much to see, and we will just get right into the message. So stay tuned and stay with
Okay.
us.
We are happy for your gatherings, your sharings of energy and information. We recognize these days are full of struggle and confusion for many humans. And we wish to assure each and every one that you are needed upon your planet. You have purpose, even when it would seem you are cast at sea without any direction. Hmm. You are held by all the loving entities and beings around you. Hmm. It doesn't matter your belief system. It doesn't matter your religion or your language. You come from love. You come from divinity. All beings, all humans are light. Your humanness is an expression of your light. It is not who you are. It is an expression of who you are. You are all there is, and all there is exists within you. When you look upon your world and you're struggled by the chaos and confused by the anger and pain, recognize within yourself what it is you would like to see in your world. The anger and chaos is mirrored from the struggles of many. You do not need to claim it as your own. You may find your peace within. You may know your divinity and choose to express it even within the chaos. Even within the pain, you may find compassion and kindness for others. And in this way, by expressing this divinity in your actions, you will help them to find their own. These small experiences will grow and build. You have so much impact on those around you by simply accepting them as they are and knowing they are not unlike you. They need to remember their divinity. They need to remember their light and awaken to this reality. Many of you have chosen to move forward and ascend above Earth's struggles. Many of you are letting go of beliefs that have caused harm to you. There was a time when you also would beat a drum and enter into battle over these things. You have moved further in your understanding that the others are as you. If you harm them, you harm yourself. This makes no sense. We understand you seek skills, answers. We assure you, you are the answers. Everything you've ever needed to know is within you, is available to you if you connect to your soul space and listen. If there is one action each of you could take, we encourage you to connect to your earth and ground into her. Allow her soil to heal and connect with your soul. Allow her energy to detox your physical form and open your heart. And with your open heart, arms wide welcome from your skies, connection to the greater being of your source. You are the conduit. You are the bridge that brings spirit, soul down into physical form and then into the earth. Taking time daily to feel this connection, you find joy and peace even within the chaos. We invite you to connect into your heart and find the hearts of all others also present, joining into the oneness, but not as it's been spoken of in your heaven or beyond, into the oneness you'll create on earth. From one heart to another until they all join and balance into a new possibility. where you all remember connection. Mm. We thank you for your presence and your courage. Hmm. Be well, dear ones. We see your blossoms. It shall not be long now. Thank you.
Welcome back, Julie. And thank you to your
Thank
team. And I just want to throw this out there. This is something that you don't actually know because, well, it happened yesterday and we're not in the same country and I haven't spoken to you until now. But yesterday,
Uh-oh.
I was asked to record a channeling session with someone. And that person was in America in the mountains of a certain place. I don't want to give it away because it'll be on a future episode.
Okay.
And they channeled one of the, I don't know, gods, people of the earth there. And what was in that channeling is pretty much what you said or your team said towards the end.
No way.
Yep.
Wow. I
And
got chills.
these are the things that come
Yeah.
through exactly like we were saying when we
Oh,
were
I have
confusing
chills.
everybody beforehand.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
fortunate to be part of all these different recordings, but I don't then go and tell everyone about them because it's just me doing it. Yeah. And I start to see the overlap in, oh my God, that person just channeled that. The next person the next day just channeled something similar. Where is this information coming from?
Wow.
Yeah. And none of us has
That's
spoken.
awesome.
Yeah. Really
I love
awesome.
that.
Yeah. And that's the
And it
crossover.
shows how connected. Just, I don't know who you're speaking of. I don't know if I know them. Well, I don't know anyone in real life, but I don't know if I could identify them. Um, but it's the same thing. You're like, it's all interconnected, you
Yeah.
know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's exactly right. So
It's
they
amazing.
taught, yeah, it's incredible because, and this happens now
Hmm.
so often. And I mean, I didn't expect what was going to happen yesterday. And I haven't, like I said, I haven't spoken about it because it was sort of late in the day. And it was the weekend and I haven't spoken to you. And
No.
then here we are today, jumping on Zoom. And I didn't expect you to rehash, so to speak, what was spoken about.
Yes. And to be honest, since our last message that I've given, I've had a loss in my family, and I didn't know what was going to come through. I mean, I never know, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And so as the human doing this, even though I love it and I want to share it and I'm blessed to share it, a part of me is still very raw and vulnerable and healing and could could see something else coming through. Right? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
or maybe not even being able or comfortable doing it because
Yeah.
of being in that space. So the fact that you had it just happen very similarly just yesterday, it's like clearly that's what the world needs to hear right now,
Yeah.
which is the name of the segment
Yeah.
because we're
Exactly.
just so creative.
But it's confirming and double stamping what the messages that need to be heard.
Yes.
And when it comes through twice, two different people, 2 different days, and you don't know about it.
Mhm. And the people who are reached by this message and the people who the other message reached, isn't that just what the voice talked about?
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Exactly. So they will just do a little recap. They spoke about the happy to see the energy and info shared. Days full of struggle for humans. We are all needed on our planet. Needed, you have needed, and because you all have a purpose. We all have a purpose, which is why we chose to come here. And a lot of people say, oh, why would I choose this? Well, maybe you're being prepared for something bigger, but you just don't know what's coming yet. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
Okay. Doesn't matter your beliefs, religion, language. We all come from love, divinity, light. The light is an expression of who you are. And that's so true. We're born, full of love, but unfortunately, in some cases, conditioned in different ways that may not be the best. But hopefully, I want to say for the many, conditioned in right ways to be open, loving, respectful humans.
Mm-hmm.
With open minds and open hearts. Wouldn't that be a wonderful world? When you are confused, angry, in pain, what would you like to see in this world? So that's a time to reflect. When you're feeling like that, do you want to see more of that? What do you actually want to see? What would you change? Find your peace within, express it amidst the chaos. So it's about, again, even if, and some people might say, well, that's all well and good when I've had a really shit day and nothing's going to turn my attitude around. Well, maybe it might be the sun shining on a rainy day. Maybe it might be getting every green traffic light all the way home and you got home 5 minutes earlier. It could be that. It could be a butterfly. It could be taking a moment just to sit in your driveway in your car and just breathe and think, thank God I have a home to go to.
Right.
And a car to drive and to go to work and a job. Or it could be just sitting down with family, having that time, having a conversation with someone who's dear to you, anything, and be grateful for the fact that you have friends. And again, that's finding the little pieces in a day to be grateful for. By finding your divinity, you will help others. You will help others find theirs, your impact, acceptance of others, help them to remember their divinity, their light. There are many that are letting go of old harmful beliefs, moving forward now. And again, the saying of when you harm another, you're harming yourself. Again, that's the oneness of all of it. Do you know what I mean? Is, we're all connected. People, it's the old saying is as above, so below. When they talk of what is that, Celtic? Yep, the old ways. For those seeking, you are the answers. If you connect to your soul purpose and listen, they're encouraging you to connect to your earth, to heal. These are the parts that were said yesterday in another different channeling that you don't know about. Similar, so similar. It's like, were you a fly on the wall? Her energy, earth to heal. Use her energy to detox you, to open your heart. Thus, in turn, you welcome greater beings, sources, elements of earth. Help to find joy and peace within the chaos. Connect to your heart space. Help to connect to others, which will help you connect to others on earth for balance and new possibilities. Now, I want to go over that actually, because this can be said quite a little bit, and we do hear it thrown around. But for the regular person, when we say connect to your heart space, what would your advice or your interpretation be of that?
For me now, I actually feel, for a long time, I felt like, when you mow the grass, your hands vibrate, for a long time, I felt that in my heart space, that there was just so much energy there. Now it feels more natural to me, right? But your heart has wisdom that we usually attribute to our heads, right? So sometimes people, especially like if you're anxious, your breath comes up. So you want to breathe down, lower. If you don't know what it means to connect to your heart space, like physically put your hands there. And that is how you learn to put your consciousness in a place. You can put your consciousness in lots of different places in your body, or in the world, I guess, right? I didn't really think about it, but that's kind of what we do, isn't it?
Yeah.
So by putting, having the physical sensation of your hand on your heart and then breathing into your hand. So now all this mental energy, right, is now redirected into your heart, and that's connecting to your heart space. And over time, you will just become comfortable with it or natural. And sometimes maybe you'll be in a situation where a person is like, whoa, up in their head, and they're like, and it makes you feel panicky, right? And it's not your panic, it's their panic. But if you're able to then just bring your energy into your heart space, their reaction or their experience doesn't become so um, upsetting or unearthing, right? You become ungrounded by the other person, and then you can help them from there, right?
Yeah.
You get more grounded, but it's not like you're grounded. You have to ground also, but that's where they can feel that that's where you're coming from.
That's a really good example, Julie. And I'm just going to say as well, the heart has brain cells. There are brain cells within the heart. So the heart has memory. And I didn't just make that
Yes.
up. If you're wondering, go
No.
and Google that. It's true.
Yes. There's medical science about this,
Yes.
that your heart thinks
Yeah.
and your gut thinks, your stomach thinks.
Yeah.
There's medical discovering about that.
Yeah. And I love that. So it's a moving of getting out of your head and more into your heart space, into that, the center of love, the feeling, the intuition, what feels right, what sits well with you. Call it a gut instinct, whatever name you have for it, feel into that. And it's a little bit like, would you say, a tuning device where
Yes.
or a compass, an internal compass that can help direct you or help you make decisions, the right decisions for you.
Exactly, the right decisions for you. And so in the example where you're kind of helping someone who's maybe panicking, if you're up in your head also, you may say the same things that you would say when you're in your heart, but they're not going to be experienced or received the same way, right? So if you're up in your head and you're like, calm down.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I can't, right? But when you say the same thing from your heart space, it has a different frequency. It has a different
It holds different energy,
effect.
doesn't it? Yeah.
Right. It's
Yeah.
different energy. The words could be the same.
Yeah. But they land differently
Mm-hmm.
and they're
Yes.
received differently.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that. Oh, there you go. So for those that were wondering what the heart space thing was all about, when we mentioned that, that's a perfect example. And if you're confused, you'll get it one day. Trust me. We'll talk about it and talk about it until you do get it eventually.
And I can attest to that. I can tell you that I must have heard things throughout my journey forever that I really didn't understand, like grounded. Like, what is that? Like grounded and connect, to the earth. And you just keep trying, and then it clicks. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's beautiful. But
Yeah.
you can't do it from your head, I mean, that's where most of us start, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where we lived for a really long time. So you have to just kind of fake it till you make it. But then once it clicks, you get it. And that's part of why I think it takes many different paths, because some people find that through yoga.
Yeah.
Some people find that through dance or drumming or, but once you've found it, you can figure out how to find it when you're riding the bus. You can
Yes.
figure out how to find it when you're in the elevator or,
Well, yeah, regardless of your situation and surroundings.
right.
Once you've harnessed that, it is like a memory, isn't it? It's a core memory that you can go back to at will.
Right.
Valuable tool. Valuable.
Yeah.
So find what it is for you that works and run with that, because that's what's right for you. And that's what it comes down to. We're all unique. We experience things differently. And I know there's a lot of people out there, and even spiritual people, that will have boundaries. There's no boundaries. We're here to announce to the world there's no boundaries. Break down the walls and the beliefs and go with what feels right.
Yeah. There's no right or wrong. There's just right.
Yeah. I love that.
And if my right and your right aren't the same, that's okay. There's room for all of us.
Exactly.
Someone will be in between, right?
Yeah. No judgment, just respect. I love it. Yeah. Perfect. Oh, thank you so much, Julie, and your team, for once again delivering another heartfelt message, and a message that we can all take on board, especially in this day and age. And again, regardless of what day and age you find this or you land on this, it's meant for you. And if you've watched this far, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. And the fact that Spirit are bringing through the similar messages through different people at different times is phenomenal. And in less than 24 hours, that blows my mind.
Exciting.
Yeah,
exciting.
It is. It's meant to be. Thank you so much, Julie.
Indeed.
Now, where can people find you?
I'm mediumatlarge.com with hyphens between the words, and Medium at Large on Facebook. And we're working on Instagram, right?
Fabulous. Yep. Fabulous. Yep. Excellent. Thank you so much, Julie. And I look forward to having you back on the show again very soon. To view the show notes, head over to themediumstable.com.au. If you want to watch these episodes, head over to our YouTube channel, The Medium's Table Podcast.